This retrospective will probably be a mix of the original and maybe the remake for the Nintendo Switch. It's a little bit easier to get footage for that. Enjoy the retrospective. There was a time when Squaresoft could do no wrong. In the 90s, they were firing on all cylinders. Final Fantasy VI Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana. Each one a landmark title. But nestled quietly among these giants, on a console not known for its 3D graphics or mascot mashups, was a game that shouldn't have even existed, but somehow did. Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. Released in 1996 for the Super Nintendo, Super Mario RPG was the result of a collaboration between Squaresoft and Nintendo. A moment where two very different giants of the industry aligned creatively. What came out wasn't just a novelty or a gimmick. It was a JRPG that somehow felt both familiar and completely new. The idea for Super Mario RPG came directly from Shigeru Miyamoto, who wanted to push Mario into a new genre. While Nintendo had perfected platforming, it had pretty much little to no experience in RPGs. Enter Squaresoft, the undisputed king of the genre at the time. With Miyamoto overseeing the project and Sakaguchi involved on Square's side, the collaboration was both surprising and groundbreaking. Development began in early '95 and the game became one of the final first-party Super Nintendo titles. Square used pre-rendered 3D graphics, pretty similar to those seen in Donkey Kong Country, creating this pseudo 3D look that was unlike anything else on the system. I'm talking about the style, not just this particular game. Culturally, the collaboration was complex. Nintendo had a structured, family-friendly philosophy, while Square was known for dramatic, sometimes dark, narratives. The creative tension between these philosophies created something unique. A Mario game with emotional depth, and a Square game with humor and charm. Super Mario RPG opens with a familiar premise. Bowser kidnaps Princess Toadstool. But just as Mario storms Bowser's Keep to rescue her, a giant living sword named Exor crashes down from the sky, destroying Star Road and scattering the 7-star pieces. Exor is a minion of Smithy, a malevolent weaponsmith from another dimension who plans to manufacture an army and take over the Mushroom Kingdom. With Star Road broken, wishes can no longer come true. Mario sets off on a quest, not only to rescue the princess but also to collect the star pieces, defeat Smithy's gang, and restore hope. Along the way, he's joined by a band of unlikely allies, including one of his oldest foes. It's a surprisingly heartfelt and layered narrative for a Mario game, blending traditional RPG stakes with Nintendo's signature charm. At the heart of Super Mario RPG is a cast that's weirdly unforgettable, equal parts classic Nintendo, and original Squaresoft just weirdness. You have Mario, who is the silent protagonist. He doesn't speak, but his pantomimes carry a lot of charm. He's reliable and expressive in ways we hadn't really seen before from our favorite plumber. Mallow, a soft cloud-like creature who believes he's a tadpole. And to be honest, when I was a kid, I thought he was a tadpole too because he just said he was a tadpole a lot and I believed him. His character arc, discovering his identity and regaining his lost family, is surprisingly emotional. And we have Geno, a puppet possessed by a celestial being from Star Road. Geno became a cult favorite for his mysterious backstory and heavy-hitting magic. Bowser, who was deep-powered and homeless, Bowser joins Mario to reclaim his castle. It was the first time we saw his vulnerable side, and he quickly became the comic relief. Rescued midway through, Princess Peach, or Toadstool, brings powerful healing magic and support magic. Her role here redefined her from a damsel in distress to an essential party member. This party broke conventions, mixing heroes and villains in one party gave the game an unpredictable and rebellious nature. Something unheard of at the time. In 1996, nobody ever thought they would see Mario and Bowser teaming up on the same side with the same goals? No. One of Super Mario RPG's greatest contributions to the genre was its timing-based battle system. In an era where turn-based combat was basically mostly passive, this game made you interact with every move. Press a button at the right time to deal extra damage or reduce incoming attacks. It kept players engaged in every turn. Some abilities required rotating the D-pad, others demanded button holds or rapid taps. Each character's moveset felt tactile and personalized. Battles were snappy and rarely overstayed their welcome. You didn't grind. Combat stayed engaging from start to finish. This innovation laid the groundwork for the Paper Mario and Mario & Luigi series. It made RPGs feel accessible without dumbing them down, and everything from Legend of Dragoon, Lost Odyssey, and even Expedition 33 can thank Super Mario RPG for making turn-based combat interactive. It's something that I always thought the genre needed. I'm not saying every game has to have this feature, but I wish more games did. The game's offbeat tone and variety set it apart from anything Square had done before. Memorable moments include Kulex, secret boss, styled like a Final Fantasy villain, complete with 16-bit sprites and a different music soundtrack. In the 2023 remake, he gets an updated form and expanded backstory. There's plenty of minigames from kart rides to beetle collecting. These diversions added charm and broke up the pacing. And there is Mario RPG's signature humor, from Booster's chaotic wedding. And when I say chaotic, I mean you could just put a Florida man in front of this wedding, to Bowser's ego-driven monologues. The writing balanced whimsy with genuine character development. This blend of tones shouldn't have worked, but it did. It created a Mushroom Kingdom that felt alive and surprising at every single turn. On release, Super Mario RPG was met with widespread acclaim. EGM Electronic Gaming Monthly gave it an 8.75 out of 10, praising its visuals and blend of RPG mechanic within Mario's world. Nintendo Power praised its 3D visuals and accessibility, calling it a great entry point for newcomers to RPGs. GamePro awarded it perfect scores just straight up across the board. Sales-wise, the Super Nintendo version sold a little over 2 million copies, including almost 1.5 million in Japan. Though it was never released in Europe at the time, it still became one of the Super Nintendo's best-selling RPGs. In 2023, Nintendo released a full remake of Super Mario RPG for the Switch. Rather than a simple remaster, this was a lovingly rebuilt version. Updated 3D visuals, reorchestrated soundtrack by Yoko Shimomura with the option to switch to the original music. There is modern UI implementation and some quality of life tweaks. Triple move abilities unlocked by an action gauge, adding a layer of team synergy. Critics praised the remake for staying true to the original. BGC called it one of the most lovingly crafted re-releases we can remember. noting the care in preserving its original legacy. The remake outperformed the original. Within 6 weeks of launch, it sold more than 3.1 million copies, comfortably surpassing the Super Nintendo total. By March 2024, sales reached 3.3 million, cementing its place as a modern success. So, why even call it Squaresoft's greatest RPG that everyone forgets? Because it was a creative risk that paid off. A one-time collaboration that captured the best of both studios. It wasn't just about stats and story, it was about tone, identity, and joy. It was approachable without being shallow, funny without being disposable, and deep without being overwhelming. Super Mario RPG wasn't just a weird detour in JRPG history. It was a sign of what was possible when developers weren't afraid to break their own rules. And even though it's been overshadowed by bigger, more successful, and more dramatic titles over the years, its influence and charm remain untouched. If you played it back then, you already know. And if you didn't, now's the perfect time to find out why this forgotten gem might be the most unexpectedly brilliant JRPG of the 90s. Alright, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and give me some memories of yours when it comes to Super Mario RPG. I will say there was a video store growing up called, I think it was called Casey's, and we rented Super Mario RPG from there, and we just never returned it for like 3 months. God, how old was I when we got it? I don't know, like maybe 8 or 9. And then we were coming up to the end of summer vacation, like about to go back to school, and we were thinking about returning it. And then the Casey's, the video store closed. It was like one of those like mom and pop like video stores, and it closed. And yeah, we just ended up keeping the cartridge. So it's around here somewhere. I don't know where though. Yeah, let me know some of your guys' memories, and I appreciate you all. Have a great day, and God bless.